Hey hackers, and welcome to our first workshop of FreyHacks. So we've got Nacho from thirdweb with us today, and he's going to show you how to use thirdweb in your hack, which would be really useful since thirdweb is also running a prize category this weekend. You can get to know more about that on our dev post. So without further ado, let's get started. Hi Nacho, I think you're mute right now.
I'm okay now.
Yep. How's it going?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Okay, so we've got a lot of hackers who are really excited for this, as you can see by the Twitch chat.
Yeah. Okay. Let me. Oh, here now I see it. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Nice to see everyone. Hello, everyone.
So
Yeah.
let's
So
get into your presentation if you have.
I'm gonna start just explain a little bit what ThreadWeb is. Just a little introduction, for like 5 to 10 minutes of like what ThreadWeb is, and then we'll go to build something. So we're gonna build like an NFT drop, very quick. And then with this NFT drop, we're gonna be able to claim this NFT and then show a different page, which is like called an NFT gated website with um, with that. So what I'm gonna do first, I'm just gonna share my screen. Yes, perfect. So yep. So I'm hoping you're seeing it fine. I don't know if you're. Can anyone confirm like the screen presentation looks fine?
To the stream.
Right? Yeah. Okay. It's everywhere. Let me see if I can just. Yeah, better now. Cool. So, welcome everyone. This is I'm gonna talk a little bit about ThreadWeb. So, what we do at ThreadWeb is like we make it easy to build web-free apps, and this comes from all the parts of the stack. So we start like, and it's not only like, hey, you can do an NFT drop, you can do your own marketplace with us, that you can list your NFTs, you can do payment splitters, but we also offer SDKs to make it easy to then build your own apps in in a very easy way. We're using JavaScript, using React, using Python, using Go. So we have kind of these different SDKs, and that make it much easier to once you build your contract, then build your own apps, right? So this comes from like a minting page, so people can get your NFTs, a marketplace so people can sell your NFTs maybe or any other NFTs, um, or like something like, hey, I want only people that on my NFT to be able to do anything in my page, right? So kind of like what we call an NFT gated website, right? So that's kind of a simplified idea of what we do. Another important part of it is like Fairweb is free to use. So as of now, we don't take any fees. So any contract you create, any money that you make, it's gonna be yours. This is something that we changed like in the last like 4 months, because we realized like we wanted to be a free model for the whole 2022, just kind of build, create like the best experience possible, and then we have for next year we have some features in mind, the very advanced features, and we're going to be very clear when that happens. And also the very important thing is like if you do anything with our web, we are not going to retroactively charge. So we're not going to go back and say, hey, you create something with us, now we're going to charge you. That's not something that's not going to happen. So if you create something when we're free, it's going to be free forever. Um, a little bit of more what I was saying is like we connect apps and chains, right? So what this means is like we go to every step of the process. So we offer first, we have one of the features what we call thirdweb deploy. Thirdweb deploy is a way of like saying, hey, we have 10 preview contracts. This comes for like, as I said, NFT draws, payment splitters, marketplace. But is it possible that you say, hey, I actually have my own contract that I've written because I need very custom functionality on my site, but which is something that thirdweb doesn't offer by default on our 10, 12 preview contracts that we offer. So we have thirdweb deploy. So you can write your own contracts and deploy them through our site and get all of our SDK capabilities and functionality too, right? Without having to go crazy with APIs and just kind of like making the development process much easier. So we go from that part of the blockchain, which is we cover, then we go to the part of with the contracts, and then SDKs, which is like, hey, this is how you interact with your contracts. And then we have the app logic, which we also help with, which is like, oh, how to make it easy for people to connect their wallet to your site, how to make it easy for people to check if you have NFTs, how to make it easy to list, like to see all the NFTs that you own or that are in a contract, or stuff like that. So we try to make it easier in every single part of the development process, from the contracts to the SDK to the front end. So in our dashboard, people can deploy all of this and more of what we call the preview contracts in very easily. So what I'm going to be doing once I finish the small presentation, I'm going to be deploying an NFT drop on thirdweb, and you will see like how easy it is to just make it. So you just deploy something in like 5 minutes. You can have a whole NFT drop contract, right? Which is super powerful. And then we're gonna get that contract, and then we're gonna build something with it. And you're gonna see like it's gonna be super quick. So yeah, we also offer like we call embeds. Right, what we're gonna do today is like build the whole front end for it. It's like so people can claim. But if you say, hey, I don't know any code, I just want people to be able to claim my NFTs, we have offer an embed. I'm gonna show it briefly when we get there, which is a copy and paste code that you can put on any page, and it will just work. It will have the connect wallet functionality, and people will be able to just mint your NFTs from there. An important part we have for as part of our contracts is the permissions. So it's not only, hey, I deploy my contracts, I own everything. You can say, hey, I want my developer to be able to mint NFTs, but I don't want him to be able to change settings of my contract, right? So we offer this kind of granular permissions. So you can give some permissions to your to some of the members of your team, but not all of them, right? So you can kind of have that control over what you want. So what can you build with us? Basically everything. So we have, as I said, the preview contracts that we have, like, hey, you can do membership clubs, you can do DAOs, we have a bold contract, you can do marketplace. But then once we release thirdweb deploy, which is like, okay, now literally anything that's on your mind, any contract that you can write in Solidity, you can now build with us, because we give you the tools to get your contract, to get your own code, and then deploy it anywhere, and then use it with our tools. So we make it so you can actually deploy and build anything you have in mind, anything you can possibly build with Solidity with Thirdweb. So when we chain, actually this slide is a little bit outdated because we just added more chains. So we have last week. So we have Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche, and Phantom, and then with Solana and Flow coming soon. But last week we added Optimism and Arbitrum, which are two L2 chains that we added to our side. We're big believers in like layer 2, and it was very nice seeing like deploying an NFT drop contract with Arbitrum was 33 cents compared to like around like $40, which is right now with our site to deploy an NFT drop with Ethereum, right? So we're super happy with that. So if you're a fan of Optimism and Arbitrum, we have them now. This is a little bit of an examples of companies that have built contracts with us. We have 100 Thieves with another esports brand, which is called Fanatic, that also deploy with us. We also have some games like Mino Games and Diamond Hands, which are like video game companies that are deploying contracts with us. And then we have some kind of Web3 startups, super local. They do like location-based NFTs. So basically, you have to go climb a mountain. If you are there and if you are specifically in that place, you can claim an NFT. Like, hey, I ran up the mountain, right? So you can have this kind of fun stuff and different stuff that people are building with a product, which is super fun to see. And just one example of one of the biggest deployments that have ever been like on any blockchain is the 100 Thieves NFT drop. So NFT, 100 Thieves is a big esports brand organization, which are a League of Legends team. So they won the championship like last year in 2021. So they wanted to commemorate their win. So they released an NFT for free. And the important part of this one was like, it was for free, but also they decided to pay the gas. So it was 100% free. It's not only the price is free, but you pay gas. No, they also took care of the gas. That they did it through one functionality that we have, which is called gasless minting, which if you deploy a contract with us, you get access to it. So basically, they took care of all the price, all the gas of all the NFTs, and they saw 700,000 NFTs claimed. And very interesting things, like they also integrated with Web3 app, which also is something we support, which is makes it very easy to create a wallet from your own from email, from social logins, from LinkedIn, Twitter, whatever. So they saw more than 200K new wallets created with social logins, which is crazy. Like onboarding 200,000 people to Web3. And the last thing that they did is like they made it non-transferable. So because it was free and it was like a commemoration, they didn't want to say, hey, you can now go and sell these NFTs. They didn't want that kind of people selling them. So they also enabled one of our features, which is called non-transferable NFTs, also commonly called soulbound NFTs by Vitalik. And then, yeah, so they enabled that so people couldn't actually transfer these NFTs. And yeah, that's the presentation about thirdweb. Feel free to join our Discord, which is like discord.gg/thirdweb, and then send me an email at me. But yeah, this is kind of like introduction to thirdweb as a whole, as a company, as a brand, as what we do. But then it's like, okay, I told you what we do and how we do it. Now let me actually show you, and let's deploy an actual contract and go from there. So I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. So what I'm going to do is going to the thirdweb dashboard. I'm going to show you a little bit how we do it. So let me share again. So Chrome tab. Cool. So if I go here, this is the thirdweb dashboard. So when you go to thirdweb.com, you'll find this page. Here you can read more about us. Here you can try our own SDKs and read more about what we do. But then you can always say start building. This will bring you to our dashboard, and then we can say I have a lot of contracts. But you can say, hey, let's deploy a new contract. So what we're gonna do in this example is like we're gonna release our own NFT drop. This is like the typical PFP page, like for PFP projects like Bored Ape Jazz Club or like Invisible Friends or any of those collections that they do like first a minting phase, and then they have like their own 5,000, 10,000 collection. We're gonna do a very small collection, but yeah, you can go here and release a drop, and then we see NFT drop, edition drop. The difference between this is like NFT drop is like an ERC 721, and then edition drop is an ERC 1155. Which means like on ERC 1155, you can have one NFT that has multiple owners, but what we want is like one NFT, one owner. And then with token drop, it's like it's an ERC 20 token, like it could be like any token on the blockchain that you can create your own one and sell it, right? So it's like the same idea. You sell your NFT, or you sell your tokens for a fixed price. So we're gonna go an NFT drop. What we're gonna do here is like call like my nice drop. The symbol, this is something that it's gonna show on Etherscan, and but so you can say here like MND, which is like my nice drop. Here we can set a lot of like a couple of things, which is like the recipient address and the royalty address. So when I sell NFTs here, where will the money go? And it defaults to my own wallet. So I'm on Ringby here. This is this is a testnet, right? So this is not real money. So we have the recipient address, we have the for both primary sales and royalties. So this means like, hey, when I sell my first NFT, where the money will go, and then if the people who buy the NFT then sell it again, if I set here at 5%, where will that money go? So it will go to the same address. And the cool thing about thirdweb is like we offer something which is called a split contract, which I just want to briefly mention, which is a way of splitting. So instead of like putting one address here, you can put like multiple with different percentages. Like, hey, I want to give 20% to my developer, 10% to my I don't know, marketing advisor, and then the rest I'm going to take, right? So you can do that kind of split, and it's especially helpful for royalties because you don't have to make calculation of like what who do you owe money like in a weekly basis or something. You can just distribute the funds and everyone will get their fair share, right? So yeah, we're gonna deploy this contract. We're gonna deploy it on Ringby. As I said, like we have this 4 chains that are, and then the 2 testnets, and then the 2 L2s, and then we offer like 1 testnet for like every chain. And when with Ethereum we have 2, but then we have different testnets. So if you want to say, hey, I want Avalanche, but then I want to test first on Avalanche Fuji testnets, so you can do so. But we're going to do Ringby. This is the Ethereum test network. So we're going to start deploying now. I don't think you're going to see my MetaMask when it's, because I'm sharing my tab. But yeah, right now MetaMask prompt. So this is just a normal transaction on the blockchain. So an important part of thirdweb is like we don't have servers running. So everything you do through thirdweb, thirdweb.com and our SDKs is directly interacting with the blockchain. So it's not like we store anything, we have any control about what you do. You directly interact with the blockchain. So once I deploy my contract, I get to this page. So here's like I can set a claim base. And a claim base is just a way of like saying under which conditions people can get my NFT, right? I'm gonna release my own NFTs. How can people get it, right? So if you go here, it's like, hey, I need at least 1 claim phase. So we have a couple of different parameters here. So when will it start? So it defaults to right now, right? So I want to start right now. And how much do I want to charge? And so let's say I want to charge 0.01 Ethereum, right? Which is on Ringby. In this case, how many NFTs will I drop in this space? I'm gonna say unlimited. So every NFT that I upload is gonna be available. And then who can claim? And this can be any wallet, or it can be only specific wallets. And here I have the option to upload like an allow list to say, hey, only these people can claim, and maybe they can claim this first address is going to be able to claim 5, this second address is going to be able to claim 8. So we can have that functionality here. But for this example, I'm going to say any wallet can claim. How many of these can be claimed per transaction? This is called like, it's like, hey, maybe I want people to be able to claim as many as they want, but maybe only 20 at a time. So they can claim 20 per transaction, and then between transactions, the time, right? So it's like 20. I want 20 per transactions, but then you can claim once every minute or something. So what a lot of people do is like they only want people to claim once. So you can say, I want people to claim once, and I want people to have unlimited time between transactions. So this makes it so you can only claim once. So let's do it this way for this example. So what we do here is like say claim phase. Again, MetaMask will prompt. You don't see it. I see it. But then, so I just confirm a transaction. It's just 1 transaction on the blockchain. that saves. And with this, we get the claim phases. So our next step, once this is done, is actually uploading NFTs. You see the success, that's great. So we have this batch upload button, which is like, do you want to upload 10,000 NFTs one by one? Probably not. So we have this way of like uploading them all at the same time. So there's like some different options here how you can do it. We're gonna go with the easy option. We offer support for every single NFT generator, art generator on the market. So we recommend Hashlabs. We like that a lot. But there are others that work really well. So you can create your own art, you get your output, and then you bring that output and you upload it on thirdweb. So what I'm gonna do here, so just to show you, I'm gonna download that sample JSON. The sample JSON, I'm gonna upload it here. It's just like two NFTs. They don't even have an image. But it's just like, this is how this will look, right? So they have like trade tabs. This is like the properties. This is like type name of the NFT, description. So remember to replace this description, which I'm not gonna do for this testing purposes. But this is kind of how you would do it, right? You can download the sample, and you can generate the NFTs with an art generator, and then come back and upload them here. So what I'm gonna do here is like, we have this next step, which is like reveal upon mint or delay reveal. And this is super cool because when you upload like 10,000 NFTs, you don't want people to know which ones are the rare ones, right? You want people to know, like, you want people to mint and then reveal all of them and say, hey, I got the rare one, but you want people to say, hey, I'm gonna mint specifically the rare one, right? So we want to avoid that. So we have this option, which is delay reveal, which is a very like hidden, so it's impossible to know which NFTs are the rare ones. So what we're gonna do is like, hey, I'm gonna choose a password here, and it's gonna do 1234 1234. Okay, I'm gonna do like hidden NFTs. And I'm gonna do because it's a secret. No one can know what our NFTs are until we want to. So anytime we upload NFTs, we're gonna see this progress bar. I didn't upload an image here, but same idea. You can always upload an image to your NFTs and your hidden NFTs, right? So this will replace every single NFT with this kind of placeholder until you actually decide to go ahead and mint. So we're gonna do uploading these two NFTs that we added on the previous step, but we're gonna hide them. So we see batch uploads upload successfully. So we come here, and for some reason it's not here, and this is weird. So the idea would be like they show here in this page, which Will is not doing. But I think it's there's a problem with it looks like a problem with no, right here. Okay, thank you for making me nervous for a second, Rankby. So yeah, it seemed like there was a problem with kind of like could be like the RPC URL, the RPC URL that I'm using being slow, which is something that can happen. This is a common, maybe laughing at me. No, just saying hi. So hi. So yeah, now that we have this NFT drop, let's say, okay, let's go to our page, let's go to our site, let's go to our code, and let's build something. So I'm thinking the easiest way here is to just share my whole screen to do this, because I'm gonna be changing between Chrome and VS Code. So you're gonna see like how easy it is to, okay, we have our contract now. Let's actually, am I sharing? I think I'm sharing. Yeah. So let's see how easy it is actually to actually go and deploy. Thank you. To actually go and make something. So make a page so people can claim, and make a page so it's hidden for people until they actually own the NFT. So we're gonna open a terminal, and we're gonna clear, so you don't see what I was doing before. And then yeah, I'm on my programming folder. So what we're gonna do here is like npx create a TW app, which this is just a CLI that we have, which is called the thirdweb CLI. And then we're going to do add latest because we want the latest version of the CLI. If you have never used it, you don't have to do this add latest part. But this will make it so we start from somewhere. So I don't want to start a project from like nowhere, right? I want to have something already in place. So it makes it much easier for us to kind of create new things. So I'm going to say yes here. And what's my project name? So my project name is going to be like, what did I call my NFT? My nice drop? Let's do the same thing. My nice drop. And here's asking, hey, what framework do you want? Do you want Next.js? Do you want Creator Tab? Do you want Byte? So I'm going to go with Next. And then JavaScript, TypeScript. Let's make it a little bit simpler. Let's do JavaScript. So what this does is just starts creating an example project, right? So for us, which is Next and JavaScript, but it's not only Next and JavaScript. It's also a thirdweb in it. So we kind of have this kind of easier way for you to start that you don't have to start from scratch. So the moment we had this, we're gonna open it in VS Code. So I can already be opening. So my nice drop. And then it says like, okay, now you can go here and I can start working. I'm using Yarn. Doesn't matter. You can use npm. But yeah, go here and then Yarn dev. And if I don't lose my screens here, this is what I get. So I get a connect with MetaMask button. I connect with MetaMask, and then I see my address, and then I can disconnect. This is just the basic functionality that we give you. So let's explore a little bit. We have here a thirdweb logo. We have icon here from thirdweb. So then this is kind of the code I was showing you, like the functionalities, like connect wallet, disconnect wallet, and show your address. And we have a lot of React hooks that makes it very easy to interact with your different contracts. So first thing we're gonna do is go to the underscore app.js. This will change if you're using a different app. And here we're gonna do repeat, right? Because that's the chain that we were using that we deploy our contract. So we're gonna go here. This is our main component. And what we're gonna do is like, okay, let's start from scratch, right? Maybe we can, let's keep these two functions, which is the connect and disconnect. Sorry, the connect and the address, and that's it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a small simple div. I'm gonna show the address if you have it, right? But one thing I think is cool is like we can say, hey, if there's not an address, you can say, hey, actually you need to connect. So we can do a button and say, hey, if you don't have an address, which means you are disconnected, we're gonna make a button which is connect with MetaMask, right? And it will be like, hey, if you're actually disconnected, so this is like my address, which is here. But if I go here, I go to my MetaMask and I disconnect from a lot of accounts that I have connected to a localhost. I will see this connect with MetaMask button, which for some reason I don't think it's shown. Maybe. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So we'll get back to that. So what we're gonna do is like we're gonna get to our NFT drop, right? So we have a hook which is called use NFT drop, which is capitalized. Okay. And then we can import it from our thirdweb React. We're not gonna use the disconnect for now. And here we'll pass our address. So here we're gonna get our address from our drop, and we're gonna use it here as a string. And then we say, hey, I want people to be able to claim my NFTs, right? So we're gonna get here. We're gonna do claim, and we're gonna do use claim NFT, and we're gonna pass here is the whole NFT drop. It's pretty easy, right? So it's like, okay, now we have this function which is gonna be claim. And what we're gonna do here is like, we'll make it so if we are here, it's like, hey, this is your address, right? You can say something like maybe here, you can say, hey, your address is this one. And then what we're gonna do is like, let's do a button so people can claim their NFTs. So on click, what we're gonna do is like, this is how we use the claim. So we do a function at claim dot I feel like, oh yeah, I did not import this. I was like, why is this not complaining? So yeah, so here we mutate. And what we mutate is like, okay, we want to do a claim, but what do we pass to it? So we can pass to and quantity, right? So I want the claim to be to the connected address. This is the connected wallet. And then how many NFTs do I want to give them? I'm just gonna give them one. And this is something you could change, right? You could say, hey, I'm gonna put an input, they can select which way they want to mint, but let's do just one. And then we also want to disable the button if the claim is happening, right? So if the claim is loading, if it's loading for some reason, maybe it's because we're claiming because it hasn't loaded yet, we're going to disable the button. So we don't want people to click the button multiple times or anything like that. So the button doesn't have anything inside, so that's bad. So claim or mint, we can call it mint. Mint NFT. So this is super weird because it's telling me like, I think it's just kind of, because I disconnected everything manually, it just kind of went crazy. So let's just connect my wallet normally. And now, yeah, now we see it correctly. It's just kind of bad because I did everything manually there to kind of show it. But yeah, if we don't have an address, we show the button. And if we do have an address, we'll show this mint NFT button. That's okay. So right now, if I click here, I'm gonna be prompted to mint an NFT. So this is something like super powerful, right? You're minting an NFT. You see like 0.01, which is the price that we set before. But before I mint the NFT, I actually want to I want to reject now. We're gonna get an error here. I rejected the transaction. I'm gonna refresh the page. So before doing that, I'm gonna do the NFT Gateway website that we were talking about, right? So it's like, okay, if people are gonna be minting my NFTs, the moment they mint, I want to see a different page. So what we're gonna do here is like we're gonna do cons own, which is like, hey, they own NFTs, and then we do own NFTs, and then same thing, we're gonna pass NFT drop, but also we're gonna pass the address, right? Which is like these address own NFTs, and which ones do they own on this NFT drop contract? So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna do if owned, and then we have the data that we get back from the and this will be an array of all the NFTs that this person owns, right? So what we care about right now is they own one. Do they own one NFT on this contract? And if they do, it's well, here Copilot is being fancy with me, but I don't want to be that fancy. Or you can say something like, hey, you own an NFT, right? And that'll be it, right? So it's like, okay, if someone owns more than 0 NFTs, we're gonna show them that they own an NFT. So right now I don't see this page because I don't own an NFT. But let's go get one. So let's see what happens, right? So I'm gonna go here, mint an NFT. I'm gonna confirm. This is gonna go on my MetaMask. It's just making a transaction on the blockchain. The moment this confirms, I should be seeing my, hey, you actually have an NFT, right? Because we are checking again that we own this person now owns an NFT. So this is okay. The claim is successful. This is still loading, and it's like, oh, actually, it's just automatically updated. And now we can see that I own an NFT. So maybe here you can say, hey, this is my secret page, only available for people to pay and they get the NFTs. So you see this, how powerful this is. We have like 26 lines of code, and because I was being a little fancy, we could be with the returns and everything, but it could be much less. So it's just like a couple React hooks, and we have 5 React hooks that we're using. And then we have the functionality to hit like, okay, let's connect your wallet, let's claim an NFT, and then let's check if the person that it's connected to the wallet have an NFT. And we're checking just if they have one, but you could check if they have a different type of NFT, right? Let's say if you can say, hey, maybe they have an NFT with a different trade type that you care about. It's like, oh, all my golden hat NFTs will be able to see this page, and then the other ones will be able to see the other page. So you can give all the different types of like access with this. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to the stream. So yeah, I'm gonna stop sharing now. So yeah, that was the presentation. Just kind of explaining what thirdweb is, and then more importantly, also like how to build stuff with thirdweb. So this is a very basic example of, hey, it's a basic example, but it's also very powerful, right? You're deploying an NFT drop, you're creating the NFTs, you're setting who can claim them, and then getting that address using 5 React hooks that we created with our CLI, which is like create TW app, which gives you like a starting template, a starting place for it. And then with just 5 hooks, we make it so people who connect their wallet, they can claim, and then we can check if they own an NFT, and then show them a different page if they do. So that was the whole thing. I hope you enjoyed. Like, I don't know if we have any questions, but yeah.
Hey, there's a question from a hacker here. Could you give some ideas for building with thirdweb that are with the theme? The hackathon is summer themed, so
Summer theme.
yep. What are some projects that you would like to see?
So that's a good idea. So I don't. We can. It can be anything, right? So for example, for here, you can say, hey, I'm gonna do an NFT which is like, I don't know, a beach theme, right? So you can, or something like that. And then you can maybe show a different page depending on if you have the NFT, or I don't know, something like that. And we can say like, okay, maybe we're gonna do a summer theme page. So I don't know, I don't know exactly like what kind of do you have in mind for like what the themes could be. Like, I don't know, if you give me if you tell me like, maybe you can say something like, hey, give me an example of something you have in mind, and then I can tell you how we could do it with our web. That would be an example.
Yep. You can always reach out to the Nacho on the thirdweb channel on our Discord.
Yeah, for sure.
So, does anyone else have any more questions about thirdweb?
So
We'll wait for some time for questions to come in.
cool. So it's a pleasure. Like, I just kind of give the finishing touches. So yeah, as I said, like we went through a lot. Sorry, like, also sorry if I speak too fast. That's kind of that's kind of my usual pace. But yeah, no, I think the important thing is like how much you can do with thirdweb, with also like not having to know first, like, a lot of coding, a lot of like, maybe you don't know how to write smart contracts, but you can still use us. But as I was mentioning before, we have what we call thirdweb deploy, which makes it so if you do know how to write smart contracts, if you want to make this advanced functionalities, you want to create this advanced Web3 apps, and you want to write your own smart contracts to do so, you can also use us and get powerful SDKs the same way, like these use own NFTs, use claim NFTs, all of these things that we offer for premium contracts. We also offer them for if you bring your own contract, if you have your custom contracts and you deploy with us, which with Thirdweb deploy. So yeah, so we make it so basically we give you the common things, but if you want to get you want to go the extra mile, you want to do it a little bit more customizable, we still give you those tools to make it easy in your development process.
Okay, does anyone else have more questions? We'll wait for 1 more minute for questions to come in.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about just so I know better. Like for the hackathon this weekend, like what's kind of the how does it work exactly? Like people just build and then they present. How exactly is that gonna
Yep.
work?
So right now, hackers would have started building, and they would have to submit their project. They would have to create like a demo video of their project, and then create a small write up, and then add it to dev post by the end of this weekend. That's on Sunday by 10 a.m. That's when the hard submission deadline is, and after that we'll have a couple of hours for judging, and then at 1 p.m. Eastern time we would have the closing ceremony where we would announce the winners.
Awesome. Oh yeah, that sounds great. Like yeah, I'm looking forward to see the projects, especially if any of you decide to go with our web and just building some contract with us. That would be super cool to see. We'll make sure to keep an eye on that. So yeah, no, there's no more questions. Like maybe people also like I know like some people might be watching but they don't have like a Twitch account to comment. So if you have any questions, you or you start developing with your site, and you have any questions about how to do it or any problems with your code that you cannot figure it out or whatever it is, or just want to talk with me. So yeah, discord.gg/thirdweb. I don't know if you can maybe put it in the chat. That would be cool, so people can click it. So yeah, discord.gg/thirdweb, and then from there, you can come and ask questions. We have a couple of community managers. I'm there all the time too. Um, yeah, thank you. And then from there, you can ask questions. We can help you out. Like if you are getting stuck, or if you have an idea but you don't know exactly which how to do it. Um, that will be the place to ask questions. And that will be so yeah. Thank you for having me here. It was a pleasure. And yeah, looking
Yep.
forward to seeing the projects and looking forward to any questions that any of you might have.
Yep, it was really nice to meet you, Nacho. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
We'll see you at the closing ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you for having.
Bye.
Bye.